What up, people? Push Wild Black here with Push Wild Black Sports. Bears win today, 33-7 against the Bengals, and this is the best I've seen the Bears this season. Mr. Trubisky threw for 271 yards. Jordan Howard ran for 147 and 2 touchdowns. Mr. Trubisky had 1 passing touchdown, no interceptions. Tariq Cohen had 80 yards rushing, no touchdowns. Mr. Trubisky had a rushing touchdown. Kendall Wright had 107 yards. Josh Bellamy made an appearance. Deion Sims made an appearance. And Cunningham and Cohen and Howard had receptions. The defense forced 2 takeaways, which the Bears capitalized on. This is the best showing I've seen with the Bears offensively and defensively this season. And my question is, where was this throughout the season? Specifically, I said it last week and I'll say it again. I don't want to hear about how bad this receiving core is, because basically what they did today was what San Francisco did to them last week. You have possession receivers. That's about the only thing you do have. Figure out how to make your possession receivers effective. What happens with the Bears is they don't know what they want to do. This is what they should try to do every game. Jordan Howard and there were some plays where they were having him run outside and he was able to get gains, but that's not what he does. Cohen does that. And at first it was seeming like they were going to give Cohen the ball instead of Howard, or at the detriment of Howard, and they were able to balance out the carries of Jordan Howard and Tariq Cohen. And Mr. Trubisky was able to throw the ball, and he basically made Kendall Wright his main receiver, and he figured out how to get open against the Bengals defense that was hurt, and they have a bunch of younger guys defensively, and they were figuring out how to get open, and Kendall Wright got 10 receptions for 107 yards. They should have been doing this. They should have had this offensive game plan, passing-wise, the entire game. Okay? This is the first time in 2 years, 33 games, where they scored over 25 points in a game. Like, figure it out. Now, I don't necessarily know what this win means, because if they're 4-9 now. If they go 6-10, if they go 7-9, I don't know if John Fox is going to be here. I don't know if Dow Loggins is going to be here. By the way, this is probably the best game I've seen Dow Loggins play call this season. The play calling was 32 passes, and let's see the runs for a second. 32 passes and 32 passes, and let me see the rushing attempts. 23 carries for Howard, 12 carries for Cohen. 2 for Trubisky, 1 for Burton. So there's 3 there. 38. No, 38. So 38 rushing attempts, 32 passing attempts, 28 completions. That's balanced. That's completely balanced. And it looks like that there was a balance. It wasn't like they were afraid to. It wasn't like they were like, okay, the running game isn't there. We're going to throw the ball, and we're going to throw the ball a bunch of times, and Trubisky's not going to be accurate. Or it wasn't like we're going to hamstring the kid and we're going to handcuff the kid or only have him throw 15 times. They figured out how to get him pass completions, and most of the receptions were up the middle to Kendall Wright, which was your best option anyway. Once once Cameron Meredith got hurt, and it was apparent when Glennon was the quarterback that Kendall Wright is your best option. He should have been getting at least 5 to 7 receptions a game every game. He should have been targeted at least 10 to 15 times. But what happens with the Bears is they don't know what they want to do, and sometimes sometimes a random receiver that they sign will get touches. Sometimes Zach Miller would get touches when he was healthy. It was, or they wouldn't throw the ball at all. And it's like this was a game where, and it wasn't even about separation. It was just they were able to get. They did a lot of boot action. They did a lot of play action passes. They did a lot of rollouts, and Kendall Wright was able to, and he was getting covered, but Kendall Wright was able to get open enough to where he was able to get receptions. It wasn't like the receiving core didn't change. They didn't stretch the field at all this game. Everything was up the middle. Everything was dink and dunk. Everything was like that. The 3 games that they won, specifically the 2 games that Glennon was in, that was their best offense anyway. And basically, San Francisco did the same thing to them last week. So the Bears coaching staff, did that same approach. You can throw on the Bengals, apparently, and every time there was a little bit of separation, Trubisky rolled out. Trubisky found Kendall Wright and found his tight ends and made sure everybody got a reception. They're still trying to get Jordan Howard to do screens. That really didn't work well. He only caught one of them. For 8 yards. But this is the offense that they should have had throughout the season. Now, does that mean that they would have won more games? Probably, just because some of them games were real close because of the defense. Does that mean that the coaching staff would be here because they won more games? Probably, and I don't know what that means, because if they win their next 3 games, then they're 7-9. If they go 2-1, they're 6-10, which is what I think what I always thought they would finish as. So does that mean that John Fox is here, or does that mean Ryan Pace is gonna let John Fox go and hire his guy? I'm thinking they're gonna hire John Fox is gonna get let go by Ryan Pace, and he's gonna get his guy. But this was the offense that, and I'm gonna probably hear like this is the offense they want to run, like Sam Rosen and Brady Quinn. By the way, there was a whole bunch of mispronunciation of people's names by Sam Rosen and Brady Quinn that I found hilarious. But yeah, Sam Rosen mentioned like 2 or 3 times that this was the offense that they wanted to run, and there's progression. There's no progression, because what's going to end up happening is they're not going to look at this tape and they're not going to be like, okay, let's do this again for the next 3 games. They're going to do something totally different. That's the issue with the Bears coaching staff. They don't know what they want to do. They could do that. They could have did this. They could have did this and had Trubisky in at the beginning of the year. They could have did this with Glennon. Well, they couldn't do this with Glennon because Glennon only he locks on receivers and he can't move. So, but they could have did this with Trubisky the entire season that he started. But what happens is they'll do something like this and it'll be really good, and then the next game they'll be scared or whatever they try to do doesn't work, and then they'll do something else, and then they'll lose. So I'm happy that they won. I just don't know what it means, because we're not going to get this next week. Saturday, we're not going to get this. We're not. We might get it when I think we'll get it when the Bengals on Christmas Eve, the Browns. When we go against the Browns, this will probably be another good game that the Bears will have because the Browns have a young and up-and-coming defense, but you can throw on them as Green Bay, and I haven't checked the scores yet because I'm recording this, but as Green Bay and Brent Hundley figured out how to do to send it to overtime. But yeah, man, I'm glad they won. Trubisky played his best to me. Efficiency was the same. The passes were the same, and they had a game plan for him. My question is, are we going to see the same game plan next week, or are they going to do something totally different? Is Jordan Howard going to get 23 attempts, or are they only going to run the ball 6 or 7 times and ask Trubisky to throw 40 times and put him out there like that? Are we going to focus on Kendall Wright and try to get him like possessions and try to get him a lot of receptions, or are we going to try to stretch the ball down the field and throw it to guys that have no speed and can't get it open? So while I'm glad they won, and while they're on pace to win 6 games like I always thought they were going to do this season, what are we going to see the next 3 games? Are we going to see this? Are we going to see a semblance of this? Or are we going to see some other random type of offense scheme that will make them lose? So anyway, that's my initial thoughts on the game. Push a wild blackout. Later, people. Go Bears.